Asher and Eric, thank you both for being here today. Asher, I want to start with you because I want to understand how this deal came about and when the two of you began talks.
It really happened through, I want to call it life and right place, right timing. Eric and I have met. We have a lot of mutual friends, and we sat together and started chatting about, I said, why crypto? Why Bitcoin? Like, talk to me through what the origin story is of your deep passion for this space and for this asset class. And as we dove deeper and deeper, we started sharing our journeys through building US Bitcoin Corp and now running Hut 8. And he's like, I love your side of the business as well. I deeply understand infrastructure. I deeply understand construction. He talked about kind of being raised and growing up on construction sites and being a part of the development ecosystem. And so as we got closer and closer, we said, is there a world for us to do something together? Can we bring these passions together and build something? And he brought up that he was building and starting American data centers. And so that the conversation started snowballing from there. And that's where we ultimately decided to bring these two forces together and form American Bitcoin, which is what we shared with the world this week.
And Eric, you've been diving headfirst into the industry in recent months. We've seen you and your family get involved in multiple crypto projects. Yeah. American Bitcoin is just the latest. Why are you and your brother interested in the mining space now, and how does it fit into your overall crypto strategy?
You had banks and you had the modern financial industry in this country that tried to put our family out of business, that tried to put so many people out of business because they didn't like their political philosophy. And we were the most canceled company probably on earth. It actually is what drove us toward cryptocurrency. You realize that cryptocurrency couldn't be weaponized. You realize that cryptocurrency was a lot faster. It was a lot more pragmatic. It was a lot more transparent. It was exponentially cheaper. And it made me realize that, really kind of the crypto world is really the future of the modern financial system. There's no question about that. Bitcoin is truly digital gold. It's the greatest hedge you could possibly have against, hard assets. And we are a hard asset family in that it's immediately liquid. You can transfer it anywhere around the world. You can take it anywhere around the world. It's 24/7, 7 days a week. It's an unbelievable store of value. And again, real estate is my bread and butter, but real estate's none of those things. If I want to go sell a hotel, it could take me 12 months to do that transaction. It's illiquid. Now, it's a great store of value, no question about it, but Bitcoin is almost the perfect complement toward, the world that we love so much. And so between kind of being forced into an industry, having a lot of like-minded people in that industry who were also getting absolutely meleeed by the very people who were coming after us, it brought together kind of a unique allegiance. And, Bitcoin and Hut 8, what they do, they're phenomenal at what they do. And, it's kind of the perfect synergy between, myself, Don, and a company that's already amazing where you go out and do great things.
Now, Asher, obviously the margins in Bitcoin mining just keep getting smaller and more competitive. How does this new venture stand out in an already crowded field?
The key with Bitcoin mining is to be the lowest cost operator at scale. And so when we came together, we said, look, we're not starting a new company, American Bitcoin. We're actually carving out the majority of our assets. We're putting them into American Bitcoin, which is already, Hut 8 is already a leading Bitcoin miner in both the US, the public markets, and globally. And so we're taking that foundation and we're saying, let's put fuel on the fire here and let's accelerate and let's grow. So for us, it's continuing to maintain the history of being a low-cost provider and operator. We did that at US Bitcoin Corp. We merged with Hut 8. We've done that at Hut 8 over the last year as we've shown the public markets, and now let's continue to do so. But what's even more interesting, what's even better, is now we have a secret sauce. The secret sauce is Hut 8 is the energy infrastructure, digital infrastructure platform. American Bitcoin is the Bitcoin miner. And so why that's important is investors who invest in Hut 8, shareholders who own Hut 8 will be investing into energy infrastructure. They'll expect a lower yield on a less risky asset. And so the cost of that capital goes down. On the other side, on American Bitcoin, investors are investing for Bitcoin exposure. They're investing to be able to mine Bitcoin for cheaper than you can buy it for and to accumulate Bitcoin on the balance sheet and have that exposure. And so now you have a much bigger platform having different investors invest in different parts of the business. And overall, what we believe is allowing us to be a leader in the sector and in the industry.
Eric, I'm curious who's advising the Trump family on crypto ventures. Are there some people in the industry that you've been speaking to in particular? Where are you getting your advice?
Yeah, I think at this point, I know almost everybody in the industry in some way, shape, or form. I fell in love with the industry, a few years ago and really dove, head in. We did World Liberty Financial well over a year ago. As you know, I think you reported very well on that. And, obviously this is kind of the latest venture. And, the industry has come to love us, right? I mean, we were supportive of the industry over the last several years when very few people were. There was a war on that industry. Gensler went out and, they were throwing people in jail. They were going after people. They were suing everybody. Banks were closing down people that just wanted to own Bitcoin. I mean, they were literally debanking people because they wanted to own cryptocurrency and they believed in kind of modern finance. And again, it was a very kind of unconventional coming together, but, the industry really embraced us. And I started working on this several years ago, and we've met so many great people throughout that venture. And not the least of which is Asher on the screen right here. And so, I think it's less about who's advising you. You can look out to the future and you can see that this makes sense, right? You can look out to the future and realize that modern finance is broken, right? You can look out and see that, the banks. I mean, why do the biggest banks have the tallest buildings with the biggest signs overlooking every single city in the country? I mean, isn't that a little redundant, right? And they're not doing anything quickly. I went out and I got a small mortgage on a house when interest rates were 2%. I felt like a schmuck not taking the money. And it took me 100 days to go out and get a mortgage. I mean, can you imagine how punitive that is to the average person out there that might not have our resources or might not have our net worth? Filling out paper forms. Why is any of this still done? And when you look at the crypto, kind of world, it's going to revolutionize finance, and Bitcoin is going to be the greatest store of value. I just have no doubt in my mind about that because it has so many advantages. And last but not least, you go around the world, everybody's doing it. Every single sophisticated country is using their excess power to mine Bitcoin. And so there really is a race to the finish, but we've got a great competitive advantage as the United States of America. We've got the best energy policies. We've got some of the lowest energy costs anyway. And I think we can harness that. And I think America needs to lead the way in terms of this kind of financial revolution. And that's part of what I plan to do.
And I think you hear it in Eric's voice here. There's a deep passion for this space, right? When we were talking of Bitcoin, he's like, I own a lot of Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. And he talked about the background of why crypto. And so this is more than just, okay, a business opportunity, a business venture. I think that's the key here. We align ideologically on what we believe in. And we said, is there an interesting business that we can build that allows us to do so? So this is the intersection of crypto, specifically Bitcoin, the intersection of energy and the energy that fuels the Bitcoin production through the compute, and then hard, real infrastructure as well. And so I think that's a key. And that's why when we were talking, we're like, he's like, it was HUD 8, Eric Trump co-founding this business together. And now we're going to go grow and scale this company and show the world what it's capable of.
And Eric, how does your investment into American Bitcoin fit into the country's new strategic Bitcoin reserve?
I don't think he does, right? I mean, I don't have anything to do with government, and frankly, I don't want anything to do with government. I believe in cryptocurrency. I believe in the future of currency, and so I think it's great that the U.S. has taken that stance. I think it's great that the U.S. wants to be the leader in cryptocurrency because whether any country believes in it or doesn't believe in it, it's coming, and anybody who has a little intuition can see it. Again, it's why it's being adopted all over the world in mass scale. It's why it's being put on the treasury of so many companies. You can't open up X these days without seeing another company that's adopting Bitcoin as a large part of its treasury. So it's coming, and it's coming very quickly. And then on the opposite side, on the utility side, there's no question that cryptocurrencies are going to revolutionize finance. They're going to speed up finance. They're going to make it more transparent, more obviously 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, faster. I know I always use the example of the SWIFT system. I mean, I run a very big company, a lot of hotels, a lot of golf courses, commercial buildings, etc. Every week at 5 o'clock, we're waiting for a SWIFT wire transfer to come in, or we're trying to get out a wire transfer between, before the clock. How in the modern financial kind of, day that we have, or how in 2025 could that possibly be the case? And crypto solves all of these problems. And frankly, it's a wonderful thing for the United States. I mean, you look at the stablecoin business, look how much inward investment that's creating for the U.S. I mean, the vast majority of the dollars are coming from countries around the world that probably don't support their own currencies, that don't trust their own currencies, that want to be in the U.S. dollar. There's a great case study where they launched a European stablecoin and only 0.5% of Europeans would actually invest in a stablecoin that was based off of the euro. You know why? Every single one of them wanted the US dollar. And then you go around the world, and you look at a lot of countries that are a hell of a lot less sophisticated or have, a less established markets than Europe does. They all want the US dollar, all of Asia, all of, Central and South, America, all of Africa. That's a beautiful thing for the United States of America. That's going to bring in trillions and trillions of dollars. So I think across the board, America has to lead the way. I really think this revolution is going to speed up finance, make it more convenient, make it cheaper, make it more transparent, make it fairer across demographics. Because right now, believe me, the financial system benefits guys like me, who has zeros at the tail end of their net worth. A lot of them, if you don't, you have no advantage whatsoever. Crypto really levels that playing field in a massive way and solves a lot of problems that we have out there.
Well, to your point, that's why stablecoins have been called the killer app in this industry for so long. We just saw the biggest transaction when Stripe bought Bridge for $1.1 billion. And you mentioned that World Liberty Financial just announced that it would be launching its own dollar peg stablecoin last week. And my question to you is, what was the thinking behind that move? It's already a pretty crowded field. A lot of, major fintech players have launched their own stablecoins. Tether has, massive market dominance at this point. So where will World Liberty stand apart?
We're going to stand apart. You better believe we're going to stand apart. And American Bitcoin is going to stand apart as well. We're going to do it better, cheaper, faster, and we're going to do it with a lot of passion. That's what we do as a family. Everything we touch, turns gold. And, the community has embraced us in a beautiful way, a really, really beautiful way. And I fall in love with it. And again, I think these two projects are by far the most exciting projects in the world of cryptocurrency. They're so different, right? Because again, one's a kind of a store of value. It truly takes energy. So much of what I do is so physical in so many ways, but yet it's really kind of creating the greatest store of value. And the other, really sits on the edge of utility and improving people's lives and kind of, the financial system around the world. And again, I couldn't be more excited about this industry and the future of what we're doing.
Can we expect more crypto-related announcements from your family soon?
Listen, I think we've gotten the bug for this industry. These are clearly our biggest focuses right now, but we have the bug. But part of me wants to become the greatest advocate. Oftentimes there's not great advocates for the world of crypto, right? It's very fragmented in so many ways. You've got the people who love meme coins and are almost gambling. You've got the people who truly understand high finance and want the utility. You've got the people who are the Bitcoin believers and the store of value. You've got the super geniuses that do all the programming and that come up with so many of these algorithms, right? And at the center, I think there needs to be a powerful voice, bringing all of those people together. All of them are accretive to one another, albeit that they've always kind of functioned a little bit autonomously. And so I hope I can fill that role. In fact, I know I can fill that role because I can speak to each of those kind of respective groups. And again, every time a Coinbase account is popped up, every time a bank decides to custody cryptocurrencies, it's only beneficial to the ecosystem at large. And I think you're seeing expansion in this industry unlike anything you've ever seen before. I mean, cryptocurrency is growing faster than the internet grew, and we're still in the dial-up phase right now. And so the best years are ahead of us, and I'm glad to be one of the pioneers of what's going to really be transformational to everybody's lives. If you look out 10, 15, 20 years.
I mean, the industry, as you mentioned, has wholeheartedly been, welcoming of the new administration and a lot of the changes that we've seen so far. You just mentioned banks being able to custody cryptocurrency, clearly only possible with the SEC rolling back SAB 121. Now, some Democratic lawmakers aren't happy, sending out certain letters. Senator Elizabeth Warren on that list, talking about potential conflicts of interest where meme tokens are concerned, some of the other, crypto-related ventures that have sprung up from your family. Any response to that?
I don't know. I've got a lot of letters from Elizabeth Warren over the years, and they're all unfounded. Listen, you have the Democratic Party that tried to kill cryptocurrency, and that would have given the rest of the world a major competitive advantage over the U.S. In fact, one that you probably could never recover from. You better believe that China is running very hard at this. The entire Middle East is running very hard. America better embrace this. And when I look at the Hut 8 guys, when I look at Asher, young guys with incredible passion, look what they're doing. They're standing up the greatest data centers on Earth. They're doing it for the cheapest amounts of money. They're harnessing U.S. energy, right? The best energy in the world, the cheapest energy in the world, which is only becoming more cheaper based on the fact that you have a competent administration and one that wants to have low energy costs when that's, our greatest competitive advantage as a nation, or one of our greatest competitive advantages as a nation. We can win this race. We won the space race. We better win the crypto race, because believe me, everybody's coming right now. And anybody who doesn't have blinders on it, clearly you see it every day because you report on it and you do a phenomenal job doing so. But it's coming. America better lead that revolution. And, that's why I become such a great champion of it. And it's just so clear to me. It's so clear to me. And again, we're going to be on the tip of the spear all the way through.
I think you all can see now why Eric is such the amazing and perfect co-founder, and also why the company is called American Bitcoin.
Well, and Asher, last question for you. On the campaign trail, Donald Trump reached out to the Bitcoin miners. They had conversations behind closed doors. A lot of people were pleased with his expertise in the area, how open he was to learning more about the industry and how it could better serve the build out of infrastructure across the nation. And my question to you is, are you having conversations with the White House about how this Bitcoin mining operation might augment other plans that they have for an overall nationwide approach to Bitcoin?
Look, I think we're extremely excited with the focus on the administration. We have a crypto czar now. We're focused on energy policy. We're focused on building infrastructure, bringing manufacturing back to the US. So we're very, very excited to be building a company during this consequential period of time and moment in time for this country.